Oh, that'll work. No, that'll work. That's good. Very good. Okay, back to your place. Now, if you can light a third candle in this wind, it means your marriage is blessed. There are some interesting times in the Jewish calendar which began today and stretch through next Friday in terms of being opposites. I will get to the point. Last night we began Shabbat Hazon, the Sabbath of vision, the vision of Isaiah, which tells us how the world should be. That's one key. Next Thursday we observe Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, which is the saddest day in the Jewish calendar. It reminds us of how the temple was destroyed twice, among other calamities. That's how it was. Two views in 1 week, which include the sadness of the past and a vision of joy for the future. We live in a world of seeming opposites, and each of us struggles to find where we have our place in this drama. We see the opposites play out every day in the news. We see them at work. We see them in our neighborhoods and among our friends. If I have any wisdom to share the two of you as a wedding gift, let it be these words of the Hasidic Rabbi Nachman of Bratislava, who lived in the 1800s. He said, "All the world is a very narrow bridge. The main thing is to not be afraid." What Nachman meant by that is to live boldly, to live joyfully, with zeal and with gusto. Find the happiness within you and share it with others, and let that happiness infuse all of your relationships. The world may be a very narrow bridge, and we may need to adjust our steps. We may need to be careful that we don't go too far that way or look down. But we always should never fear. We have to keep our eyes on the prize, and the prize is love and joy. One other thing. This week we begin the last book of the Torah, Deuteronomy, which in Hebrew is known as Devarim. And the first two words of this book are Ela Devarim, these things. In Hebrew, those words add up to the numbers 36. 36 in Hebrew is Lamed Vav. There's a thing called the Lamed Vav. It is said that at any given time in the world there are 36 righteous people upon whom the world stands. And the thing about these 36 righteous people is they don't know who they are. And nobody else knows who they are either. And in fact, if you think you're one of them, you're not. So the idea is to treat this world as if at any moment you're standing in the presence of one of the 36. I suggest to you, from my own experience of marriage, that looking at your mate as if he or she is one of the 36 is a very important thing to do. Also to look at your friends and neighbors that way as well. The Czech poet Rilke said, "For one human being to love another human being, that is perhaps the most difficult task that has been entrusted to us, the ultimate task, the final test and proof, the work for which all other work is preparation." And so, on your wedding day, I'd like to spend a moment or two on that preparation, the story of Debbie and Pete. The two of you met in Chicago at the Green Dolphin Restaurant on June the 25th of 2005. Debbie, you were practicing law in Chicago after school, and you moved to LA, and you returned to Chicago to visit with friends and network. When you, don't look at me like it's strange, when you and some other women decided to crash this law firm's party, an annual party where you used to work, by invitation only. One of the women's friends brought her friend's brother, whose name was, of all things, Peter. Poor Peter, the only man at a table full of women. And to make matters more difficult for you, Debbie's friend Jana was taking you around, introducing you to all the single women at the party. How did you ever manage? At any rate, Debbie asked you to dance, and the two of you talked, and she gave you her business card, good attorney. Santa Monica, California, it read. You thought, I'll never see her again, although you did send her an email. Well, a month later, Debbie returned to Chicago for a family reunion, and it was also a reunion, it seems, of all the girls who crashed that party that I spoke of before, which included you again. But this time, you were not the only male. Peter, being the gentleman, drove a long way to pick you up, Debbie, from the outskirts of Chicago, and then when you two got downtown, you realized what? That you left your ID and your credit card and everything else back at the hotel. So Peter said one of the great lines of history, well then, You won't complain when I pay for your dinner. Suave. And you saw her the next day, and you met some cousins before she returned to LA, and the two of you kept in touch. And by August, there was a plan for you to come to LA, but sadly your brother Christopher died, and Debbie flew out to be with you through this tragedy. In September, you did come out west to see Debbie and to meet her mother Ruth and her sister Lori. It was by now officially a serious relationship. Meeting mothers will do that to a man. So over the next 2 years, you two had a long-distance relationship, talking 3 times a day on the phone for 2 hours, and doing something I've never heard anyone do before, virtual dating. You would actually rent the same movie and play it at the same time and talk to each other on the phone while the movie was playing. And once a month, you would actually have a real date, not a virtual date. Until 2007, when Peter, you moved out here so that you could be together at last and give it a chance, see if this was going to work in the long run. Last year, you all were in Amsterdam, the two of you along with Ruth and Lori, and unbeknownst, of course, Peter, you were schlepping a ring around with you, the diamond that you bought in Chicago in the setting you got in LA. You talked with Ruth about your intentions, and then you stole Debbie away in a canal on a paddle boat. And you stopped the paddling and you pulled out the ring and you said, "Debbie, I love you a lot." To which you said, "Oh my God!" And Peter continued, "Are you ready to be asked?" And of course the answer was yes, and here we are. Look at each other. I asked you, Peter, what you love about Debbie, and you said, "She knows what she wants and she's not afraid to go after it. She is ambitious and very intelligent and of course very beautiful. Debbie is fun, loving, thoughtful, and contentious. She's outgoing and we are a good balance for each other." And you added, "There are many pieces to a puzzle that make the puzzle whole. She is my other half." And I asked you, Debbie, what you love about Peter, and you said, "I love how easy things are with him. Peter keeps his word. He's funny, honorable, loyal, and loving. He makes me laugh. He's kind beyond belief and hardworking. I love him because he's everything to me. He brings levity to my life and is a great cook and knows how to stand up to me." And you added, "Peter is comfortable in his own skin." Your wedding day is special and unique among all the marriages since time began because of who you both are. You are the only Peter and Debbie Zeiler, I just said, that have ever been or ever will be. This life is not a dress rehearsal. Our lives are here and now. I hope you'll always be able to seize the moment, create goodness, and share your love with a world desperately in need of love, in need of holiness. Always remember today to stand with the chuppah or the rabbi at a priest. And when things get the better of you, remember the words of Reb Nachman. Don't be afraid. Let your love grow and let it lead you to look at each other's hearts. And if you are real still and look closely, you will surely see the face of God. Can you hear Ratzon? May that be God's will in us also.
Amen.
And now Father Norm and I would like to offer you a 5,000-year-old benediction. I'll say it in Hebrew, I'll say it in English. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May the Lord bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panavelecha v'chonecha.
May his face shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panavelecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God look upon you with kindness and give you his peace. Amen.
I think it's time for you to pronounce it.
Why not? I'd like to present to you this newly married couple, Peter and Deborah. Welcome them.
And kiss each other. I said a kiss. So, we have one more piece of business to do. They say if you don't break a glass at a wedding, then you're not really married. We can't have that happen after all this. So why do we break a glass at a wedding? There are those who say it reminds us that the temple was destroyed twice, and therefore, in the midst of great happiness, we remember there's also sadness in this world. Some would say that you should treat your marriage the way you treat a piece of fine crystal. If it ever was broken, we'd never get the pieces back together again. Others, Peter, say this is the last time you get to put your foot down. But the one I like the best is the ancient rabbis said, floating around us at all times are evil spirits, and all evil spirits want to do is get in our lives and ruin everything. And the one thing evil spirits can't stand is loud noises. So I'm going to put this glass down, you'll turn and face everybody, I'll count to 3, and then we all yell, Mazel Tov, so loud, to scare away all the evil spirits from Santa Monica, from the beach, from the valley to Marina del Rey, never to bother this beautiful couple as long as they live. 1, 2, 3. Mazel Tov, Mr. and Mrs. Peter and